I'm Chad Allen, and I'm 33 years old. Lately, I work a lot at Switched On, which is the synthesizer store that I run, and that's, it consumes a lot of my time. There needed to be a keyboard museum, or there needed to be a synthesizer, store. And there's plenty of guitar stores. There's a couple drum shops, but where there's no place that's focused on keyboards or synthesizers. I'd been buying and selling synthesizers online for like 3 years before I started Switched On. So
you already
kind of knew what the market was like and how to do that. And I've always just dreamed of having some sort of space, that I could project sort of a vision onto, whether that be a record store or like some weird shop, or because I was selling synthesizers already, it just became, let's make a synthesizer shop.
Do you fix them or anything? Do you have any part of that?
Yeah, that's a lot of it's, the cheapest synthesizers you can find are broken. So luckily, before I opened the shop, I had a good tech who getting to fix things before I would sell them. And then now, since opening Switched On, we have a few good techs. We were able to attract some really talented people that know how to fix all that stuff. So it just makes, it's like part of the excitement of it for me is bringing something back to life.
Yeah.
You've got this keyboard that's been neglected. It sounds really good. It's a really useful, powerful tool that's been sitting in someone's closet, or maybe in their garage, or maybe like, their kid brother had it and just trashed it or something. We're able to like bring it back and make it work. And that to me, like, there's so few of them, and they're so old. Being able to keep that alive and put it into someone else's hands so they can actually make music with it is important.
Is there a big demand here?
Yeah, there actually is. More so than I expected, actually, which has been good. We sell most everything in town. We ship very little out of town.
And fixing stuff, I'm sure, because who else does that also?
Yeah, there are a few people here and there, but no one who really specializes. Bands in the mid-90s were starting to use synthesizers. I remember the rentals.
Yeah.
The rentals. Yeah. Seeing that Friends of P video and thinking, what are those strange-looking keyboards? I mean, the whole video just looks weird, and exotic and exciting, but the keyboards they were playing and the sounds. And then I would go to a lot of local shows in Portland where I lived, and bands were starting to use synthesizers. I would see them on stage. I accidentally saw Abyss once, I think, after they turned to mostly keyboard band, and it was just like really fascinating. Like, what were they doing? There was 2 keyboards, guitarist, and then a drum machine, which no one ever saw. It's just like some guy stepped on a foot pedal and the rhythms were happening, and I just had no conception of that. I think when I went to Fun Fest last year, I was renting a synthesizer to a band, and so I was kind of backstage the whole time, and I could kind of watch all the bands from behind or the side of the stage, and it seemed like, there were definitely some people who were performing just with the laptop, but there was a thread that I noticed that I found was really interesting, where it was laptop running backing tracks, drummer has an earpiece, he's playing along, all the other musicians are getting the backing tracks through their monitors and are playing along. So it's this wonderful like fusion of, yes, the computer is the backbone, but the bands have figured out how to perform around that and make it an exciting show where there's actually humans like on stage producing music, manipulating instruments, which I think is more exciting than, I saw another musician at Stubbs the other night who just had a controller, like a USB controller, and was running, a computer program. His laptop was next to him, so he never touched the computer. He was just manipulating the controller. But I find it really challenging to accept that for some reason. Like, why would I pay $25 to go see this music, amplified really loud while someone on stage is just kind of hunched over, some lit buttons. And yes, he's pressing them rhythmically, and there's definitely some skill to that.
Yeah. And
he's created this music. Some of it may be samples, but he's put it all together. But at the same time, it's just you don't feel it. There's no like.
It's a boring show.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah.
I never got into using a computer to make music. I don't
Really?
know that I ever will. I still record on cassette 4-track. Record digitally at John French's house, but it's a digital hard disk recorder. There's no screen.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly why, except for it just inspires me more.
It's just
The
more
computer doesn't
comfortable.
inspire me musically. Yeah. I love limitations. Limitations drive me creatively. You have to find solutions. You have to problem solve
Yeah.
when there are limitations, that's definitely a major factor.
Kind of like a noise band that was.
Occasionally it would fall into that, but it was typically more musical, just depending on who was playing. So we'd get asked to play a show. I'd ask the cast of musicians who I worked with for that who wanted to play. Some could make it, some couldn't. So some days it would be just me and someone else. Other days it would be 6-piece band. But it was typically musical and with vocals, which really sets it apart. If you have a vocalist, typically no one knows you're improvising, as long as that vocalist is somewhat coherent. I usually tell people I can play anything because I like the idea that you can make sound with anything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I can play the guitar because I can bang it against the ground or something.
Right.
So I've played on stage like saxophone and played guitar on stage, even though I don't know any chords.
Oh, okay. Not necessarily technically proficient guitar.
No, not at anything. I play synthesizers with Pataphysics right now. Patrick was in the Zomzoms, and started his own band after Zomzoms broke up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always kind of wanted to play keyboards for them, and now I've finally got the opportunity, so I'm enjoying that.
The band before us, if you just got here, you missed it. They were so good. They were so good it hurts. They're really good. Thank you, tip bartenders.
Just being like a band member is nice.
You guys play a lot, or?
Yeah, it's typically like once a month right now. Once, sometimes twice a month, but it's really hard to play more often than that.
Yeah.
Unless you're like a new, younger band, with a lot of friends or something. If people want to see you more. But Powder Physics has been around since 2007, so there's not as much. I don't think people feel the need so much to like really go to the shows.
Yeah, it's old news.
Yeah, kind of. Even if they're new songs, I mean, people come to the shows.
Yeah.
And but it's not like it'll never be a band that's hyped or popular or
Yeah. It just is what it is.
It is what it is. It has people that like it, and I was one of those people for a long time. I would try to go to every Powder Physics show because
You're a fan.
I enjoy the music. Yeah.
You're a fan before you remember.
Yeah. Well, I think with the internet, it's a resurgence of everything at the same time. It's any genre or style automatically has a niche audience that can be catered to. I can no longer, if I'm really into ska, I don't have to be depressed that there's no ska bands out right now because there are on the internet,
Yeah, there's somewhere.
Yeah.
Cable access stuff that you did. What was that?
It was mostly, I think, parented by Amanda Joy and Eli Wellborn and Johnny Cisneros and Ben Aqua, kind of like the main people who really helmed that creatively, with help from a lot of other wonderful people, Christine April and Sam Vandelander, Gary Henderson, a bunch of people. But I mostly did like production stuff. I would do. At the time we did it, I was really into video and kind of abstract, colorful video art. And so I would do a lot of the processing live, using feedback and circuit bent video devices and things like that to make it look, I don't know, just give it its own look. I find discomfort really exciting. It's really stimulating.
Yeah. Why do you think?
I don't know. I guess because it's so abnormal. Everything's about comfort and convenience. Maybe that could be why people are fascinated about that now, because everything's really comfortable and easy.
It's more thrilling to have things sort of
fall apart,
go wrong or fall apart.
Yeah.
And it's always a smart idea, I'm so glad that our drummer makes all the decisions in the band. He's really smart. Look at him. He's a friendly guy. He's a friendly guy. Hey, damn it! He's a friendly guy. He's awesome. We're ready to play the song? I'll kill you! Thanks.
Because I'm not proficient at any instrument, I want things to go as quickly as possible. I want to get it over with as quickly as possible. So if I write a song, I want to try and do everything first take and not have to touch it after that. I don't. Laboring over anything musically, I lose interest. It's not really an ADD thing so much as another limitation. Having to do it in this really short amount of time will force me to do it more creatively or to find some weird way of doing it. It's actually easier to enjoy it after the fact too, because I haven't spent all this time playing it over and over again, mixing it for hours, adding things. It always sounds new. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot I made that song because I just did it in that moment and then put it behind me. There are a lot of great bands. I haven't been going out a lot lately, so I'm really out of the loop. I so rarely go to shows anymore that it's, hard for me to keep up with what's going on in the scene. I only sort of catch wind through friends and through Switched On what's going on.
Yeah.
So that's tough question for me to answer. But you know, the past 2-3 years, the scene's been really exciting. You know, a lot of new musicians, some of whom we featured with Answering Machine. That was part of the inspiration for doing Answering Machine recordings, was that we have this new scene of musicians who use synthesizers, and the music's really exciting and fresh.
And how long have you lived here?
14 years. What's today? The 9th? I guess
8th.
Today's the 8th?
I think.
It would be my 14-year anniversary today.
Today?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think Austin has improved in a lot of ways. Yeah. It's actually finally becoming a city, which most people resent, and they say things like, it's becoming Dallas or it's becoming Houston. And it really isn't, you know. Those are cities that had like real, industrial backbones for a long time before they boomed, or that was part of their boom. We never had that. The only sort of boom we're having is cultural. And so you don't have all that, you just don't have the base that you do in Dallas or Houston, and that's not the way they developed. So it just doesn't, that argument doesn't make sense to me. I think it's good that Austin, maybe not necessarily good that it's growing, it's just growing, and that's, how are you going to fight that? You either have to, be bitter about it, or make it grow in the way you want it to grow. You make it into something you want, channel it. But I think it's important that it's becoming, more urban. Condos don't look great, but in a few years it's going to actually really help with, distributing the population. I think it's part of the thing I don't like about how it's growing is the amount of just like new money coming in. It used to be, and up until very recently, you could go, a year without seeing a Ferrari, and now, like, if you're anywhere around downtown, you see like 2 a day, or like just cars that cost as much as houses and stuff. It's just like, that's a weird part to me of this growth that I didn't expect. And in this neighborhood too, this is like 78704, close to downtown. They're, every month they bulldoze an old house, and build a really new house.
Like modern looking ones. Yeah, there's a lot of that, and they're like scattered amongst the old crummy houses. That's what looks so weird about it.
Yeah. Yeah, my house, I mean, this building right here, the house in front, old, the house next door is like just totally handmade, like added on to like a dozen times. It looks like a mess. It's like it was about to fall down, and then like, 2 blocks the other direction, you have like this crazy, like probably like $1 million box, it's all glass and steel. It's very odd, but I think kind of fascinating. It's nice to have like, it would be weird to live in a neighborhood that all look the same. It's
Right.
nice to have like this really eclectic, style. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I just wish that some of the people moving here weren't so wasteful and like really just ready to like turn this into a Disneyland for rich people.
I flew to